we're going to be doing Doodle for Google. And that's where we're going to participate with the rest of the nation in creating an artwork where we change the words Google, the word Google, into something else, whatever their theme is for this year. So this year's theme is, when I grow up, I hope. So be thinking, what is something that you might hope will happen when you grow up, or hope that you'll be, or the way the world will be when you grow up? Think about that for a second. When I grow up, I hope. It says, when I grow up, I hope. And this invites you to challenge your child or children to draw upon their dreams and imagination the way the world could be. So think about the way the world could be when you grow up. What are things that you could imagine? For example, food for everyone. That'd be cool when we grow up if there's enough food for everyone and no one has to be hungry. Shoes that can fly. That'd be awesome. A pill that cures everything. An earth-cooling fan. It's up to my students, or up to you, how you interpret this theme, where you take it artistically, and the materials that you use to create the unique doodle. So you can use any materials. You can use paint, you can use even paper mache where you glue things down, you can use trash to do it, you can use colored pencils, crayons, whatever. We're going to be using colored pencils here in the art room because I think it's a really easy way to make it look nice. If you think you can do something better with a different material, let me know and I'll consider it. This contest opens up on January 7th, 2019 and goes all the way until March 18th, 2019. Now, I'm not going to send in everybody's artwork. We are going to be sending in some of the best artworks in the school, and I'm going to take pictures of them, high quality pictures of them, and upload them and email them to the Doodle for Google contest. And I'll wind up having to get your information. But there's no limit to how many participate. So if I don't choose yours, you can always enter it this way. All you have to do is go to Doodle4google.com and it'll tell you how to enter it there. And you can either upload it or you can mail it in. You can actually mail in the actual artwork with the permission form. You can't forget the permission form, but that's how you can upload it. Or if your brother or sister wants to do this, anywhere from kindergarten all the way to seniors in high school can do this. So if you have an older brother or sister who wants to do this, they can do it. Or even if you have a little younger sister or brother, they can do it as well. All you have to do is go to Doodle4google.com and they can learn how to do it. Okay, let's talk about the theme some more. The theme was, when I grow up, I hope. And this invites you to draw upon your dreams and imagination the way the world could be. So how could this world be probably a better place? We probably don't want to think negatively. Let's think about what could change to make this world a better place. And it gives examples, and some of the examples are food for everyone. That'd be awesome. But how? How can we create food for everyone in the future? And so the first thing I did was started doing research. Like I Googled things like future inventions, top inventions in the future. And then I looked at Google Images as well and also read articles. And something that I saw that is happening is vertical farms. Vertical farms is where they're taking these high rises like in New York City, where you would take a really, really tall building that's a skyscraper and they are planting crops in it. So instead of making a crop a really big thing that's out in the field here in Texas, you could grow a bunch of crops, a different crop on each level even. And you can even grow trees and crops on top of the buildings. And that way, instead of having to farm from really far away and having to get all of those vegetables and fruits onto a truck and drive them all the way to New York, you could just grow them right there. And if you're growing them there, not only is that creating more plants, which is a good thing, it also means that trucks aren't emitting CO2 and bad stuff into the air when they are transporting the crops. And then I looked at one and I thought, well, maybe I could do one in outer space, and I just kind of quickly sketched. The first thing you're going to need to do is create an ugly sketch. And that's important. The ugly sketch is important. And so the first thing I do is I just write down the letters Google. Let me make sure I'm all the way in the picture here. So G, O, O, lowercase g, L, E. That's the first thing I do when I'm creating it, because each letter needs to turn into something, or we'll look at some examples where they drew around the Google and left the letters just the way they were. But then I kind of started planning. I was like, oh, I heard about this big earth cooling fan where it's sucking in CO2 and it's cleaning the air, because we have all this smog in the air and all of these bad things coming from cars and plants that are making the air polluted. It's pollution. So I looked up the earth cooling fans and I saw what they looked like, and I thought, well, maybe I could turn this into like a big machine thing. And so then the next step was, what would this look like? And so this is another quick sketch. So this one was a quick ugly sketch where I got all my letters in. Then I did another sketch that's a little bit more detailed, but it's still a sketch. I'm still coming up with the idea. You can see I've erased a lot of times, and I still wrote the letters down. And then once I have it to this point, I'll put just a blank piece of paper. So I'll just take a blank piece of paper and I'll put it on top of that where I can see through it, and I'm going to clean up my lines, and I'm going to make my lines straight. I'm going to use a ruler or a straight edge to draw all of my lines by bumping my pencil up against this, and I'm going to make them look nice. And I'm going to create a final sketch. Typically with the final sketch, I would use a pen. So, but I might, for this one, I went ahead and did one more sketch. I thought, let's do one more. And so with this one, I drew it out like this, and then I put this piece of paper. And for my final sketch, I used a pen. I don't use a pencil, because pencil's gonna smear everywhere. So I used a pen. I also used a ruler to draw these straight edges, and I used perfect circles. I got this circle stencil from Amazon, but you don't have to have a circle stencil, and that way I can create a perfect circle. You don't have to have a circle stencil to do this. You could use a lid to a Gatorade bottle to do this, or I've got these that someone was throwing away, or even a CD if you need that, or lids to anything like butter tub lids and all sorts of things. You can get lids that are circles. You just got to find the size that you need. So everything's used a perfect circle and a ruler, and it's all straight edge. It's all clean. I used a pen. Then I got to come up with my colors. So I test my colors first. I tested them here. And I'll tell you how I came up with my colors. I looked at the Google colors. The G is blue. The O is red. Then it's a yellowish color, then blue, then green, then red. If you're using the Prang color pencils, which we will be here in the class, the colors I used were sky blue. For the blue, I used harvest yellow for the yellow, red orange for the red, because it's a fire engine red. It's a bright red. It's not a dark red. And sage green. That's the colors I thought were closest to the Google letter colors. Okay. Then I tested them out. I kind of tested out. I just kind of quickly colored it in, planned it out, thought this is what I'm going to make it look like. And then, so I colored each color down where I wanted it. That way I'm looking at this picture while I'm coloring this picture. And I want this picture to look really good. I want it to look really nice, okay? Because we want to finish it out. Now, if you don't do these ugly sketches, if you don't do just a quick ugly sketch, you might do something like this. So here, I started off with this drawing, and I thought that looks awesome. I like it. And so this is like the G coming off. It's a rocket coming off of Mars, and then this is going to be Earth, and it has some wind turbines on it. I was like, this is cool. And so I went straight to a final sketch. And I drew straight with a pen. And do you see anything that's missing? Oh no, I forgot the lowercase g. G-O-O. Where's the other G? G-O-O-L-E? No, it's supposed to be G-O-O. I mean, G-O-O, lowercase g, L-E. Don't mess up and forget a letter, okay? So this one is kind of going off of what Elon Musk wants to do, and he wants to colonize Mars. So I looked up what Mars looks like on Google Images, and I looked up Mars illustrations or Mars drawings. Either one of those will bring up a nice drawing of a Mars, and I colored it, and then I drew this. And it's okay to use reference photos. You can even look at other artists' Google Doodle4googles, but don't copy everything. Even if you want to copy my Mars, that's okay, but don't make yours look exactly like mine. It's okay if you copy one thing off of it, like if you copy my rocket, that's okay, but don't copy everything, because Google's going to know. They're going to, especially if you're copying from another Doodle4google, you can't steal things from other people's Doodle4googles because they've already seen those artworks. They're going to know that you just took that from someone. So come up with your own original idea. Think about, what do I want to happen in the future? And I had one person say, well, I want to be a doctor in the future. And that's fine. That's awesome. But if you're going to be a doctor in the future, think about, what are doctors going to look like in the future? They're going to have different stuff. And so I put like the Google letters down. I thought, well, maybe someone will be just like in this big machine thing. And we'll probably have like mechanical arms that are working for us, right? Because we already have these mechanical arms that can do very precise things. Then after that, I got a little bit more detailed here. And this one came along pretty fast, so I didn't make as many sketches, but notice I made it too big. I made the doctor, and I thought this is going to look like a G, then O, O, lowercase g. I made it too big. So I just got another piece of paper, and I did the L and the E. Then I took a big piece of paper and traced it, and this is what I came up with. Here I use the color to really make each letter stand out. So the first color is the G, which is the same color as the G in Google. So it's blue, then red, just like the red circle, then the yellowish color, then the blue G, then the green L, and the red E. And this is a mechanical arm. This is the fluids that you need at a hospital. This is a 3D printer that's printing a brain for this lady who's getting brain surgery. And the doctor's working from his computer controlling the brain surgery, okay? So being a doctor in the future might look a little different than it does now. I know as a teacher, it's changed a lot in even the past 5 years. So I know that every profession is going to change in the future. So think about what it'll look like in the future. Okay, once again, I started with just rough, quick sketches of what I might want something to look like. And I thought, well, maybe we'll have like a chip in our brain that helps our memory. And maybe we'll have like arms that just fix our arms if they mess up, which is not too far from the future. Then I came up with this here, and I did even another little sketch here. Okay, now it's your turn to think about something and do a rough sketch. And you can work on this at home as well.
Just remember to take your time.
Don't get frustrated with it. We're going to spend a few days on this. We want it to look really nice. We want it to be clean. We don't want it to look sloppy. But also in the very beginning, it's going to be sloppy, and that's okay. We just want it to be real quick, and then we'll get it more and more detailed and better coloring. And you're going to get tired of it by the time you do your final drawing. But just stick through it. Stick through it. It'd be really, really cool to win this. If you win, if you get picked as one of the top 5 in your grade, in your state, then you'll get to go to Google headquarters. And that'd be just so awesome to get to see something like Google headquarters. That'd be so awesome. So I hope that y'all try hard, and I hope you enjoy this project. I hope you enjoy being creative and getting to Think outside the box. Have fun.